Buenas, soy Seveda, estamos en el capítulo número 21 de Divinity Original Sin 2, vámonos. Vale, aprendimos que no puede aprender esto. Es una lástima porque está bugueadete, pero bueno. Es que 35 de recuperar 274 es bastante. Ver. Más vida, por favor. Pero mucha más vida. Pero muchísima más vida. Vale, pantalones. Joder. Vale, venga, los pantalones estos para el otro. Yo me voy a poner los pantalones estos de aquí que me dan ingenio. Venga, ten. Y no tienes poca vida ni nada, cabronazo. Vale, ver, me toca a mí. Vale, ver, cadavero, cadavero, cadavero. Muy bien. ¿Por qué me dice que tengo que ir ahí? O sea, ¿por qué me tengo que salir de aquí? ¿Qué misión tengo que hacer? Es que 580 de vida tengo. Necesito 40 de vida. Vale, ver. No hay nada en la casa de la magistra, no hay nadie en la casa de la magistra.
A most vile incident.
Ostras, estás dentro de la mesa, compañero. ¿Qué haces ahí? ¿Está abierto? ¿Cómo? No, está cerrado. Ay, no, no, esto no es, no, esto de aquí no es. Es esto de aquí. Aquí hay una niña.
You can't go in there, mister. The Meister isn't home and the Magister's locked her house up for her. They was very angry about it. They said mean things about the Meister and they left a mess, a big one.
Entonces se conoce a la magistra.
She's my friend. She was one of the Magisters once. She was very high up. She used to look for God people and help them.
Mungidos.
But then she stopped that and just stayed in the house all the time. She used to play with me, but then the Magisters took her away, they did. They took her outside the village. I'm not allowed outside the village.
Preguntar dónde cree que está la Magister exactamente.
She looks around theatrically to see if there's anyone listening.
When the wind blows from over the stream, I can hear the Meister. I can hear her crying.
She gives you a look of the darkest meaning. Then she takes a deep breath, puts on a happy smile, turns and skips away.
Vaya, qué críptico todo. La arena. Uno de nosotros se ha alzado campeón. Sí, pero ¿quién se ha alzado como campeón? Porque lo ha matado mi invocación. En el mapa. En otra región, vaya. Investigación en el mapa. Sí, pero... Joder. ¿Esto qué es? Huevos perdidos, patíbulo. Uy. Uy, me da a mí que... Cuidado aquí. ¿Cuánto llevo de capítulo? Que se me están yendo las ganas de jugar. 7 minutos. Joder. Sí, el capítulo más corto que he hecho. Poderoso despertar. Encontramos a la Magister Shiva en medio muerto en patíbulo. Debemos liberarla.
I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me!
Verdugo niña.
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Como que 2 lagartas. Aquí solo hay una. Este lagarto muerto. Es que aquí no hay nadie. O está a través del suelo. Seguramente es eso, que está a través del suelo. Sí, está a través del suelo.
Step away from the prisoner!
Please, why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
Preguntar qué es esa prisionera medio muerte porque es colgada por las manos.
She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker and she's a bloody traitor.
Dice que has oído hablar de los buscadores.
What have you heard? Have you heard that they killed our beloved Alexander? She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her. At least as far as you can trust a lizard. To repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip.
Dice que vas a liberar a la magistra y que no le conviene imponerse.
You're going to... What, now?
Ofrecer la oportunidad de liberar a la magistra y la
She
misma.
betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Con fuerza, preguntar si sabe quién mató a Alexander. Señalar a ti mismo mientras lo haces.
I'll regret this, I know I will. All right, I'll stand aside.
Si quieres te ataco, ¿eh?
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or, indeed, you could stand there gulping as if I just ran off with your femur. You might not have the brains anymore, but I pray you've managed to keep some wits.
Trepar para rescatarlos. Surar que me ha dado el hijo que podía entrenarte eso es
The
cierto.
Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Malady is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope.
Mirar con incredulidad una de las hechiceras de la fuente más poderosa de la región es capaz de entrenarte, ¿por qué no?
Because along with torture and interrogation, the Magisters found space in their schedules to purge me, that's why. They spent quite some time at it too. Apparently I was a rich vein to be mined, and now I hang powerless as any butchered carcass. No offense meant towards your own venerable carcass, of course.
Purificada parece muy habladora para ser monje y
They
sirviente.
stopped the process just as the last of my power drained away. Just enough to rob me of my strength, but not enough to leave me a hollow sack of flesh and scales. I had hoped they simply wished to preserve my charm and beauty, but no. It seemed Dallas had ordered that I be held until she could do the deed herself. To give it the personal touch, I imagine. Now that you have had that... that delightful little nugget of gossip, perhaps you could do your damn job and let me loose?
Trepar para rescatarla.
Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return?
Cortar rápidamente sus actos y darlo bajar.
God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, let's scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my home in Driftwood, and we can see what you're made of.
Oh, conejete. Una coneja.
Ugh, mating season. Again. If I have to deal with one more buck looking to court me, I'll take a chunk out of his ear.
Tenemos una partida más variopinta y no muerta.
This place has seen better days.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe.
Notar qué es lo que necesitas
In your
exactamente.
case, more than I suspect, man, God or even a reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul.
Sentir con mucho interés, sin mucho interés, qué es lo que tienes que hacer.
We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the
Buah, si es
masters
por la
pay
vida
as
que
much
tengo.
attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall.
Qué painting y qué wall. Esto de aquí.
Which fills me with wonder and pride. Push the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you.
Deduce la combinación según te va diciendo la magistra.
Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Vale, a ver. ¿Cuánto llevo que...? Hola, Baichis, ¿qué tal? Yo bien, mira, aquí diciéndome. ¿Y tú qué tal? Si aún estás por aquí. Bueno, diciéndome, simplemente jugando. No, es parte del juego principal. Pero yo estoy jugando con mods, con muchos mods, con unos 67 u 8. Por eso tengo tantas invocaciones por aquí.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken?
Decir que es una oportunidad para volver a sentir.
You would let the void run free so you can feel the joy of your skin sagging as you age. You would trade the sanctity of all the races for your flesh. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else.
Está claro que algo así, algo de poder sí puedes usar para ti mismo o sentirlo, ¿entiendes?
Very well then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They are all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. source in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Apuntar que sus heridas parecen graves.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Decir que voy
And do
inmediato.
not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Vale, veo. Aquí hay mucha fuente. A ver, ¿qué es lo que necesito? Las semanas de todos los ingredientes necesarios. Vaya, debería de estar en un libro, ¿verdad? Cabeza de medusa. Poliformismo. Tratado sobre la humanidad. Cofre de energía. Cuenco, poción de curación, orbe de fuente. ¿Dónde están los ingredientes? ¿Me ha dado el libro o no me ha dado el libro?
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go!
Ingredientes en el armario, libro del ritual, fuente en el... Vale, todo está en el armario. ¿Qué armario?
Opening the door, you see a selection of
Buscar los
ingredients thrown together in
ingredientes
no particular order.
para el ritual.
After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
¿Y el libro dónde está? Este libro de canciones no me interesa. Colocar raíz negra en el cuenco. Derramar sangre con un cuchillo de obsidiana. La sangre propia es lo más cómodo y echarla sobre la raíz. Prender fuego al contenido del cuenco. Probar que se sienta la fuerza necesaria. Señalar el ritmo resultante. Hasta este punto no se sabe nada. Vale. A ver, colocar raíz negra sobre el cuenco del ritual. ¿Dónde está el cuenco del ritual? ¿Tengo todo yo? F5. A ver, ¿dónde Ah, vale. Ahí. Ni siquiera es una tabla. Ay, mi madre la he liado, ¿verdad? Vale, colocar en el de esto. Derramar sangre que no tengo. Con tuétano. Derramar sangre sobre el cuchillo y echarla sobre la raíz. Vale, primero vamos a recoger la raíz. No la raíz, la raíz. Yo qué sé. F5. A ver. Cuenco. Bueno. ¿No ves? ¿Cómo hago el ritual? Si ya está. Tengo que combinar. Vale. Vale, joder. Qué tonto que soy. Pensaba que tenía que hacerlo tal cual. Qué tontito. Otra vez F5. Venga.
As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading.
Hacer caso al latido de cabeza y continuar subiendo aún más en el humo.
As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Deepest recess of my soul? But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Pues sí. Y además Sirlo también está aquí. Hombre, soy yo. Soy yo.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you. Another you. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
My child, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am.
Acercarte.
My child, it is time.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. Speak the spell and see.
Vínculo espiritual. Lanza este hechizo regularmente para revelar el mundo oculto de fantasmas que aún me rodean por el reino de los mortales. Ah, mira, aquí.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, child? I saved you when the ship went down. I blessed you, made you powerful, and now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. And now you have brought me a gift.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from a source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better.
Morir, preguntarle con evidente preocupación qué está
Dying does
ocurriendo.
not become. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and we are losing. Should we truly perish, all will be cast into oblivion.
Decir que no piensas permitirlo, que aún tiene que haber alguna forma de salvarlo.
Indeed, there is. To save us both, as a matter of fact. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now.
Sí, para eso necesito mucha más estamina, mucha más constitución, porque joder.
And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful.
A sentir sin parar. ¿Y dónde está eso?
Eager child, before we discuss the where, we must first muse the what. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost.
Uy, sí, no sé lo que de preguntarle porque es tan importante que seas tú quien gane, ¿acaso no es propio de los 7 ver descender a cualquier nuevo divino?
There you touch upon the very heart of the matter. The void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them. All of them. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom. This world's liberator.
Meditar sobre sus palabras, mucho me gusta. Preguntar qué ocurrirá a los otros dioses si haces esto.
It is simplicity itself. They will bow to you, or be undone. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal God-woken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear one. The road to divinity may well be paved with dead gods, their blood staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save all of existence. You will save your kin and your loved ones, and all the rest of the mortal world.
¿Qué hay de las
You
razas
will
mortales?
become a god.
Preguntar qué pasará con ellas.
They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you have become a true master of the source and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Decir que si se convierte en el maestro de la fuente, sin duda no habrá mejor mentora que ella misma.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child, but if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn.
Vale.
So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the source. Once you have, return to me here.
¿Qué has hecho con mi vista exactamente?
Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. You have the vision of a god now, sight that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger.
Decir que te había parecido que ella misma era una maestra de la fuente.
Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul, those are connections I cannot make for you.
Vale.
Good luck, dear child. Make me proud.
¿Y cómo me piro? ¿Cómo me voy?
Go now, my child.
Aquí.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
Acercarse al de tu cráneo y explicarle brevemente lo que ocurre tuyo es oculto en tu interior, tomando el poder de los maestros de la fuente.
She sighs impatiently as you hold your head in your hands, rubbing what's left of your temples.
You can't channel enough source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps?
Mira, lo sorprendido, no sabe qué es lo que tienes que hacer ahora.
I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of source. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my source. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to.
Un momento, preguntarle si está diciendo en serio que tienes que ir a entrenar a las órdenes de hechiceros de la Fuente malvados.
You will not be there long, I assure you. There is only so much you can glean from a twisted mind. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them.
Expresar tu preocupación no parece encontrarse bien.
And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters.
Encontrar donde puedes encontrar estos maestros de la Fuente.
The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Decir que volverás tan pronto como sea posible. Oh, espíritu de aprendiz, vaya.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer. I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carrying. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot.
Guerrero erudito, admitir que te da impresión sus muchas habilidades.
Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world. No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
Oye, ¿qué tal?
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
Cuéntale quién
I
es.
am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not God-woken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
Preguntar por qué se arriesgó algo así sabiendo que el peligro que entrañaba.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
Vaya, sí, ¿eh? Qué cosas. Cuartel de los maestres. Pero lo que hice, recuerdo que lo que hice antes en el cuartel de los maestres es para no tener que... Esto los maté a los dos. Recuerdo que hice esto. Ahí, aquí en el cuartel de los maestres. Los maté a los dos maestres que hay ahí dentro. Pero eso es malo. ¿Verdad? Todos ellos tienen el mismo hechizo. Vale.
Elsa, my inkwell is
Course.
dry. Fetch me some
Right
more.
away.
La senda y la peregrinación. Joder. No he tenido éxito.
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
Deja de estar ahí. Hija de fruta que tengo que...
Bellwether, I need those reports,
Course,
damn
sir.
it.
Right away.
Corre. Vaya. ¿Qué tengo que buscar aquí entonces?
Bellwether, I need those reports, damn it.
Abajo, quizás. $700 de vida y yo 580, joe. paquete. Vale, F5. A ver cuánto llevo de capítulo. 50 minutos. Vale, pues hasta aquí este capítulo. Soy Sevedat y nos vemos en el próximo directo vídeo. Chao.